everybody. Welcome to the Garage, the court of public opinion for another day. Getting close to the end of the week. I don't know, maybe it's just we're getting older, but the weeks seem to fly by, the days fly by. One day turns into a week, which turns into a month, which turns into a year. I don't know. I'm not complaining. As long as you wake up on the right side of the grass, it doesn't really matter. I haven't, for some reason, my telephone's not getting me a lot of the comments that you make, because I respond to the comments that you make on my telephone. I've clearly got a glitch in there anyway. So if you've commented and I haven't said thank you, that's the reason. Before we get into the stuff of the day, of which there is plenty, the day. Where are we? What is the day, Pete?
25th.
25th, right. The 25th. We remember stuff because it frightens me that the one thing we learn from history is we learn nothing from history. It's all been done before. The Australian Aboriginal Cricket Tour of England begins with, well, it's the Aboriginals versus the Surrey gentlemen. But it would be interesting to be a fly on the wall, wouldn't it? But apparently the Australians acquitted themselves extremely well. That was 1868. 1937, the first airmail letter to circle the globe returns to New York. I'm getting croaky, I don't know why. But that's a red letter day. The first airmail letter to circle the globe, 1937. Graham Kennedy, Australian television personality, dies. He was born in 1934 and he died in 2005, which I think made him 81. And he died, I can't say not happily. No, I will say not happily. I think he was lonely. A lot of people just sort of left him to one side. But what a talent. What an amazing talent Graham Kennedy was. 1977, the original Star Wars movie, Episode 4, A New Hope, directed by George Lucas, starring Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, premieres. That was 1977. On the same day, in 1983, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars episode, well, whatever, produced by, you can guess, George Lucas. That was his retirement plan, I'm sure. Went on forever and ever and ever. I won't mention the radio station, but years ago, I was invited into a late night. You know, they have these things like a couch or a group or a sofa or a crew or a, you know, because people on FM, they can't do a program. They have to have a cast. They have to have lots of people. Anyway, I was invited in and I thought, out of curiosity, I'll go and see what this is about. And I swear, it looked just like the bar scene out of Star Wars. Whew. Don't know what the management was doing. I suspect it wasn't even listening. That's another story. 1961, JFK announces that the US goal of putting man on the moon before the end of the decade, not because, ladies and gentlemen, it is easy, but because it is hard. I still think, like Churchill, there was a man. There was a man. Hal David American lyricist. Raindrops keep falling on my head. What the world needs now is love. Do you know the way to San Jose? I mean, I could sit here for an hour and not be able to list all the songs that Hal David wrote, mostly with Burt Bacharach. He died in 2012. He was born in 1921. Great talent. Hal David and Burt Bacharach. Must tell you the story one day about the time I rang. Now, who was it now that I rang? It was to do an interview, scheduled interview, promotional interview for a particular album that was coming out. And then the lady, I mean, I think they were all high on something or drunk or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, they passed the telephone around. And on that day, I spoke to some of the most amazing people I've ever spoken to in my life. Among them, Burt Bacharach. And as I say, another day I'll tell you that story. Say it again.
5 minutes.
Pete says it's 5 minutes. I can't do dates for longer than 5 minutes. Let me have a quick look down here. Oprah Winfrey airs her last show, 2011. Jay Leno becomes the permanent host of the talk show, The Tonight Show, in America. In 1992, Oscar Wilde sentenced to 2 years imprisonment for what they called gross indecency. Well, they never saw Graham Kennedy on The Tonight Show, did they? Ah, dear. Hands across America, 6.5 million people hold hands from California to New York in 1986, and it doesn't tell me here why. Maybe they just wanted to hold hands. I got no idea. Igor Sikorsky, the Russian-American pioneer of aviation, helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft. He was born in Ukraine, died 72, born 1889. John Lennon takes delivery of his psychedelically painted Rolls-Royce. Why? Doesn't matter. You're John Lennon, you can do what you like. 1967, Henry Ford announces that he's ending the production of the Model T Ford. I'm way over time, aren't I? Oh, one more. Tom T. Hall, American country singer, songwriter, Harper Valley PTA, and author, born in Olive Hill, Kentucky. He died in 2021, born 1936. You know, I remember the day that Clayton Delaney died. That was one of my favourite songs. Have you got a favourite Tom T. Hall song?
No, I don't know any of his stuff, really.
Oh, he had some lovely things. Oh, he did. Yes, he did. He did. I wish I could be old enough, or young enough, to just sit down and play all of the CDs that I have collected and collected and collected. And most of them, you go to little second-hand stores in Adelaide or wherever the city is that you are in, you'll find lots of CDs. The vinyl is becoming more collectible, but you know, you can buy wonderful, hardly used CDs for $2, $1. Oh dear. I think we've seen the best of it, Pete.
Yes, I think we have.
Now here's a not exactly fun fact. The Queen Elizabeth Hospital here in Adelaide, for some reason, has sealed off 80 beds. We have a shortage of beds, hospital beds. We all know that they are a premium. Shortage of hospital beds in South Australia. Where is the Liberal Party in opposition? Who is talking about this? All asleep at the wheel, I would suspect. It's amazing, isn't it? If I know about it, why don't they know about it? This government campaign to inform us, we the people, about The Voice is underway. You'd have seen it on television. I've seen the ads. I am none the wiser. Yes, I am poorer. Yes, government advertising like this costs millions. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders have exactly the same access to government as we do. We do not, or we should not, have different arrangements for people based on the colour of their skin. I don't care how you spin this whole thing, their campaign or the referendum, it's racism. And all the advertising in the world will not change that. I say to the government, in your informative advertisements, because that's what they're supposed to be, informative, you should be telling us why we need The Voice, what it and its accompanying bureaucracy is going to cost, how many on the payroll. Basic answers to those questions that we, in the court of public opinion, would like to have answered. Pretty simple. There's one title that I don't think Australia wants to have, and that is the fattest children in the world. Now, don't ask me.
You can't say fat.
I can say fat, Pete, and I will say fat, because I have got 2 stone to lose. You don't. You go for walks and things like that. I got to get myself mobile, but I want you to listen to this. Be realistic, for heaven's sake. Be practical. Countries with the fattest under 5. Children under 5? My God. The World Health Organization has a table which it's got a whole, like a pecking order, really. It lists Britain as the 22nd worst. The US isn't even in the top 50. Gee, I would have thought it would have been. Globally, 37 million children under 5 were classed as being overweight in 2022. And all of the health implications associated with that and the cost, my God.
As the twig is bent?
Well, as the twig is bent, so shall grow the tree. Because as you grow up, overweight, your children in turn and your family in turn will be similarly influenced. Countries with the world's fattest kids are today named and shamed in a startling analysis which comes amid spiralling obesity rates across the world. Neither Britain nor the US feature in the top 20 of the new league table based on data published by the World Health Organization, the WHO, but Australia comes in second. Libya takes the top spot. Libya, I mean, it lurches from famine to famine. Almost 3 in 10 under 5s, 28.7%, are classed as overweight in the African nation of Libya, according to the worldwide analysis of statistics for 2022. Some 27 million kids under the age of 5 are now grossly overweight. 4 million more than at the turn of the century. So we're going in the wrong way. Australia ranked second in the table of 198 countries, with 21.8% of children classified as being overweight. Then there were a whole lot of other third world countries like Tunisia, Egypt, Papua New Guinea. They were not travelling very well either. Greece, Paraguay. No, we're doing some things that are terribly wrong, and we're planting seeds that will grow a really, I don't know, terrible harvest, really. Shorten people's lives. Don't know if you saw this stuff about Detective Superintendent Scott Moller. This is about the Brittany Higgins case, the Bruce Lima case. Detective Superintendent Scott Moller says he didn't believe that there was enough evidence to charge Bruce Lima for the rape of Brittany Higgins. He says he was pressured from the media, from the Me Too movement, from politicians, and Brittany Higgins herself to bring charges. Well, is that how we run justice? Do we bully the police? I would have thought you would have left them alone to do their job. I would have thought you would have left it to the rule of law, common sense, most importantly, the likelihood of a conviction, before you spend millions and millions of dollars and put the Commonwealth in the path of millions of dollars worth of compensation. Now, I found the superintendent's comments refreshingly honest. There is one good cop, and not frightened to come out and speak up. I'll leave you with this. There's an inquiry into the ABC. This is generated by they say 1,000 complaints about their and Stan Grant's coverage of the coronation on that Saturday night. Stan Grant, as you know, has quit. Supporters have walked off the job at the ABC, complaining that he's been given a bad deal and no support. Good God. Now, look, honestly, if this is true, there should be a royal commission into the ABC. Bizarre, irrelevant, reactionary, highly political, angry people. These people are public servants, well-paid public servants. They're not political apparatchiks. How did they get in there? How did they get recruited? Why are there so many of these people employed by the ABC? It all goes bad from the head, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, I know I love you dearly. I love you dearly, but you obviously don't have control. ITA should be replaced, along with the general manager, the managing director. They all should go. We need people who will get some balance and the pursuit of excellence, rather than a political agenda and grievances and activism. The ABC can and has done some great work, but they have to forget the agenda. Stan Grant's rant is stupid, you know, on his program. I think it's stupid anyway. He was disrespectful to the new king. Bad taste, ill-timed, inflammatory, in fact, treasonous, the stuff that went on that night. Now, I don't know Stan, near as I can figure it. The resentment that you have, I can't figure it. Your people seem to have had a better deal than most. Having grown up in the 50s, you grew up later, but no one has had a dream run. Billions and billions of dollars for no other reason than the colour of their skin. That's racism. Has been given to the black people of Australia. What is your problem? You come walk with me down North Terrace one afternoon, and you and I, let's have a look at our black brothers and sisters. And you tell me, what is the problem? Why are they in that condition? What is going on in this country? And who's going to take responsibility? As I said, the expression that got me the sack from 5AA with regard to Brittany Higgins. Take responsibility for your behaviour. We might get a chance to talk some more about that tomorrow. Thank you very much for viewing us. The Court of Public Opinion, back tomorrow. Pete and I will be here. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Believe in yourself, and thank you for viewing.